We are at the TK Jones Campground. It's a Federal Bureau of Land Management territory at the Imperial Dam recreation site. The Colorado River. We are just on the California side of the river. The recreation area includes a long-term camp area where you can buy a permit for 6 months of boondock camping, and it also includes a couple of areas where you can get another permit, which is what we've got, and it's an annual, but it allows 14 days of camping, and then you have to leave and you can come back after 14 more days. So you get 14 days in and then 14 days out, and you could spend the whole winter here if you so desired. But the reason we like it is that there's water, as you can see. It used to be known as Squaw Lake, and then they named the campground part TK Jones, and then they came up with a more politically correct native name for the body of water here, but I can't pronounce it, and I don't think many people can who are not native. Anyway, it comprises a boat launch ramp, which today, Monday, is pretty quiet. On the weekends, a lot of fishing boats and some pontoon boats come over, but today not much action. There have been a few kayakers go out, but you can see the expanse of what I'm going to keep calling Squaw Lake, and it goes out and meets the Colorado River, which flows this point left to right, way down past all the reeds. I'll zoom a little bit, and it won't show you too much more, but it'll give you an idea of the expanse. So a great place to paddle. It's great for bird watching. You know, there's all these coots and ducks, the odd goose, a few egrets, a few herons, lots of grackles and noisy shorebirds. Also, there's one resident vermilion flycatcher, a tiny little bird the size of a sparrow, which has bright red flashes on its head and wings and part of its body. But you know, it's an oasis in the desert, and it's economical for camping. The camping, you know, isn't wilderness camping by any means. You're basically in a parking lot, and they do have flush toilets and showers, water. Up at the top, closer to the long-term area, they have a dump station and water. There's garbage bins, so pretty good. This area down to the end of this little peninsula is where tent campers come. There's only a couple of tents way down at the end right now, but on weekends, winter weekends, you will see more tents. Now we're coming across to the other side of this peninsula. The annual government tree cutters were here over the last week, and they managed to chop down a lot of the reeds and some of the branches. Here's a pile here that'll get picked up, but they were here for a few days, just trimming, allowing more access to the water for fishermen and stuff. So this is the other side of the a little bay. A lot of the campers have boats, kayaks, canoes, paddle boards. And you just sort of leave them tied up along the shore. Now, besides the bird life and the aquatic life, there are wild burros in the area. We're looking across here at some hills that range along the shore, and the burros live up in the hills. They come down into the campground. I'll show you, some evidence of them, but there's lots of hiking trails, whether they're real official trails or whether they're burro trails, and you can wander the hills for good lookouts over the Colorado River Valley. Besides the main river, they have what is known as the California water, and they have the Arizona water, and they have passages and little openings through the reeds, and it's great for kayakers and fishermen. Fishermen nose into the reeds and get out of the flow of the river, but they have some flat water that they can fish and enjoy. Here's more evidence of the tree cutters, just clearing away brush, getting the reeds down, and they've done a real job here. And here's some evidence of the burros, for want of a better explanation, because you never really see them. We've seen one in the 10 days we've been here, but they are around, and you hear them at night, and you see the evidence that they've been wandering around the campground area. Here's more, a little fresher. Anyway, that's the last of that I'll show you. If I can find a burro. What I'll do is I've got still photos, and I'll put a photo of the burro. And we're just coming up to the northeast corner of the camp area, and as you can see, it's basically a paved parking lot where everything is parallel parked, and we're not up at the top end here because we want to be closer to the water for the kayaks, but it's all good. $75 for an annual pass, and you can easily spend 14 days, maybe go away for a couple of weeks, come back another 14, or it's an annual for 12 months when you purchase, and that means that we can use ours next year as well. So we typically would buy it, use it. This year we bought it, the 2nd of March or something, so it's valid until the end of March 2024, so we'd be able to use it again next year. In front of you now is an earthen dam, and I'm not going to walk all the way up with the camera going, but I'll take a break now and I'll show you what's on the other side of the dam in a few minutes. So we're back again. I've just climbed the hill up from the campground, and you can see the earthen dam that you saw from below, and this is called Senator Wash. It's an artificial lake or reservoir, and it's hemmed in by two dams. The one that separates it from the Colorado River, which is to the south, and also as I walk along you will see that there's another earthen dam on the east side which separates it from the Colorado River, which is flowing to the right side of this artificial dam or earthen dam. And we've got a few kayakers in Senator Wash. I'll zoom in a little bit. Now the reason for the wash is for water level control on the Colorado River at this point. It's an artificial body of water that they pump water up when the river is flowing swiftly with a lot of volume. For instance, during spring snow belt up in the Rockies where the Colorado starts. And then when the Colorado River is low and slow, they can dump water out of Senator Wash here down into Squaw Lake and then from there into the Colorado River. And they just did that a couple of days ago. They dropped the water level 3 or 4 feet. It runs down through a dam, which is also an electricity generator, and it fluctuates. They usually do it in the middle of the night. You can hear it sort of, but not really. And it helps control the Colorado River. Now we've got the Imperial Dam just in this location, and then just south 3 or 4 miles is the Laguna Dam. And there's a couple of canals that also come off the Colorado at this point. It's the All-American Canal, which heads into California, and there's the Arizona Canal, which I forget the exact name of, and it dumps flow into the Arizona side. Most of it is used for irrigation of crops. Lots of vegetable crops here, lettuce and soft vegetables and citrus. You know, basically we're only 20 miles from Yuma, and the whole Yuma area is well known as the salad bowl of the states. You know, almost any romaine lettuce or artichokes or any of those kind of things are grown either on the Arizona side or the California side, and just a cool place. Now our permit, which allows us to camp at TK Jones, also allows you to camp at Senator Wash for 14 days. And on the far side, you see a few in the distance, RVs, sort of on the beach. There's a little more beach now because the water level dropped. But it's hard to get over there. There's no amenities, no showers, only pit toilets, some bumpy roads to get there. So that's the north shore of Senator Wash. There's also a small section along the south shore which allows camping the 14-day in, 14 out way. So, you know, it's a neat place. Lots of water in the deserts, like an oasis. It's like a wildlife sanctuary, bird sanctuary. There are boats occasionally in Senator Wash. There's a launch ramp, and some people do fish. As far as I know, most of the fishing, both in Squaw Lake and Senator Wash, is bass, but there would be others as well. So, this is Senator Wash. I'm just going to climb over and we'll look down on Squaw Lake, TK Jones. Now in the far distance, you'll see the dam and generating station, which controls water in and out of Senator Wash. And then I pan around. The launch ramp is at the far end, and then you see the camping area, which again is basically just parallel parking in a parking lot, but you can't argue with the price. And where else do you find a lot of water in the desert? And then you see the peninsula where the tent campers go, and then beyond that all the reeds and passageways that lead eventually into the Colorado River, and which drains to the right down towards Yuma and then beyond into the Sea of Cortez and Mexico.